Hey, coaches, excited to announce our first annual high school air raid clinic. It's going to be at my high school at Hopton High in Newton Grove, North Carolina on April 12th. And we're scheduling 8 to 8 because we're going from philosophy all the way through play calling, every aspect from top to bottom, how to install this version of the air raid. I've got two great speakers coming in. Shane Dular is going to come in and do the O-line presentation, and he is an elite offensive line coach. He's going to do both run and pass. And then George Colthorpe's going to come in and do the screen game, and I'll handle the rest of it. And again, we're going from philosophy all the way every aspect. 90s quick screens, run game, RPOs, drills, every aspect of it, from A to Z, we're going to cover. We're going to video the whole thing, so everyone who's there is going to be able to have access to it. We'll also, if you wanna pay for it and then just get the video, that'll be available also. The price is going to be $100 per coach, 150 per staff. If you're a member of Air Raid Academy, you'll get it half price. Do the math there. There's a way to save some money. And obviously, also if you do the yearly subscription Air Raid Academy, you come for free. But it's going to be a heck of a deal. I'm gonna bring players in, and we're gonna do some player demonstrations of the drills. I think our position period, our skill position period, is the best thing we do, hands down. And we'll do that live, and we'll also film it, but we'll do it live with players there. So it's gonna be a great deal. Once again, April 12th, 8 to 8. At Hopton High School in Newton Grove, North Carolina. I'll have other information coming out, particularly hotels and that kind of stuff. But excited to have you there. Now, this episode, I've got Eric Diaz, who is a California and Texas high school coach, veteran coach. He just wrote a book on Cover Seven, which is match quarters from the Saban world, and he does a great job on it. So that's what we got coming up now. Thank you, coaches. Hey, coaches, got a fantastic guest tonight. Coach Eric Diaz is a veteran football coach, coached in California and in Texas. That's one of the top three for high school coaching. He has just written a book on Cover Seven, which is match quarters, and he's gonna tell us, basically teach us the basics of Cover Seven, explain why he loves it so much, and then we're gonna talk about the book. So, buddy, I appreciate you being here.
Coach, I appreciate you having me. It's awesome.
Can you just give a little bit of background? That's a pretty big deal coaching in those two states. Can you
Sure.
can you kind of give a little bit of your background and tell us how you got there?
Absolutely. So I started coaching in California. Didn't play college ball, so I actually my defensive coordinator actually got the head high school coaching job, and he gave me a call and asked me, hey, how'd you like to become a professional football coach? So I kind of just chuckled for a little while, and he said, I could pay you a little bit to coach freshman football. So did that while I was coaching college. Stopped after I graduated, got a 9 to 5. Um, did that for a few years and ran into a buddy of mine. He invited me to come back to our old high school. Did that again from 98 to 2003. And I moved to Texas in 2004. Didn't know anybody out here. And then ended up hooking up with a school in 2007 for a year. Took 2008 off. And then I got back to another school in 2009. We had a really good run. I was there for 9 years. We played in 6 state championships and won four. Um, Moved on to another school. Decided to try something different. Our OC got a head job, and I went with him. Um, Kind of went a little bit sideways on us pretty quick, and I ended up back where I came from for another couple of years, and now I'm actually not coaching right now. So I thought I'd spend a little bit of time writing and putting some dots down on paper.
Well, I've written a book myself, so I know it is a task. It is usually not quite as fun as you think it is when you first get started. Tell us about Cover Seven, man.
So really, the thing that kind of intrigued me about it, and we started kind of running this. Our DC had coached at the college level and done some NFL stuff as kind of some with some programs there. He introduced it, and man, I just kind of started delving into it. I think it's genius what Saban's done, and basically the fact that you can base your coverages on flanks, right, and match people up to give you the best, kind of the best deal. So, you got two remove receivers, you run one coverage, you can check to something if you got a tight end attached. Trips has checks, you got some backside checks, and there seems to be, an answer for pretty much anything the offense throws at you. So, I've tried to do the best. A lot of it, there's not a whole lot of information out there. I mean, there are a lot of guys who've written books and some good ones too. Um, but I kind of wanted to take a little bit different approach, and I approached those flanks separately. In 2-by-2 formations, I talked about the strong side, talked about what you run on the weak side, on the back side of that, and then trips the same thing. Now, in that match deal though, there are some that run almost like full field coverages, so I kind of covered that approach as well. So, it's not the only way to run seven, but it's the research I've done. I just wanted to kind of share it with some people out there and help some people that might be thinking about adding this to their arsenal.
So when you're seeing 3 by 1, are you still staying too high with it?
Yes, sir. And then you rotate, you kind of rotate down to whatever that you're going to end up doing. Um, sometimes what you'll end up doing. Now let's talk about the back side first, right? If your corner can handle that receiver one-on-one, you can use that safety to poach number three, especially if you got speed on that side. If he really can't handle him, then we've got a check called cone where you basically bracket that number one and give that corner some help. So again, and here's another thing: you got a tight end attach in that 3 by 1. Maybe your backer can run with him, so you can use that safety on that single man. There's a lot of different things that you can do.
Can you go ahead and diagram some stuff up and let us get a feel for it?
On this deal right here.
Yeah, you can share and go to whiteboard and just draw it
Okay.
up like you're on a
Yeah. Let me
whiteboard.
let me let me see if I can. Let me
Or
see
if
if I
you
can.
got, I mean, if you got video, I mean, whatever, however you want to do it.
I have I've never done the whiteboard thing before, so I'm not really exactly sure. Hmm. Let me see
You
what I
see at
got
the
here.
bottom where it says share screen?
So we basically have, and hopefully you can see this right here.
Yeah.
Um, so we actually have our 2 by 2 formation, which was where we start kind of teaching out of, and we the first thing we put in. I'm trying to find that the right page. Of course, when I moved them over, they didn't move in order. Let me look for this. Sorry, man. I'm making some work for you here to edit this thing.
No, I mean, we'll just start when you get the right one, we'll start right there, and then I'll that's where I'll start the edit.
All right, cool. Let's find 7. I'm looking for page. It didn't move over in order either, which is weird. All right, 8. Where's page 9? Man, I'm feeling like I should have been a little bit better prepared. Here we go. Okay. So here's where we got our mod coverage, and this is what we kind of start off of, right? Now, people call mod, they say mod means either man outside and deep or man on demand, right? The great thing about mod, and that's where we start our teaching at, is there's a built-in smash call. So if number one goes vertical, the corner's going to lock onto him. If he doesn't, so if he stays short or if he goes in, he's going to give a call, either some type of smash call. Some people use the word China, or an under call if he goes in. We're going to pass that on to the star or the Sam, depending on what you want to call him. And then he's going to play the midpoint of his zone looking for the smash, right? Really, and to be honest with you, I've been on the offensive side as well too. The reason why in cover 7 you have to have answers is because if they run stick on you all day, right? That star is going to be in a bind with, that back going to the flat or running the shoot route, whatever you're going to have them do, and that guy running the stick. So because we tell them the Mike or the Mac backer, depending on what you want to call him, his job is to relate to number 3. But there's also another rule involved, which is called the fast 3 rule, meaning if 3 goes to the flat right now fast, he's going to make that a push call. He's going to push that guy to the star. The star is going to take, let's say, the swing route, and the mic is going to relate to the new number three. So the beauty of match quarters or this coverage is you have man after the distribution of the routes, right? So unlike cover one, where you lock onto somebody, or cover zero and you stay on them the entire time, when the routes distribute themselves, that's how the defense basically takes over the man in their zone. Usually the safety plays deep, and he's either going to take two on the vertical or he'll rob one if two does not go vertical. Does that make sense?
So we're going to end up with if one goes vertical and two goes 5 yard out,
Yes,
are we
sir.
going to end up with corner and safety on one?
Yes, sir. So what'll happen is the the star is first to the flat, right? So if two runs the out, he's going to take the out. The corner will take him man, and then the safety can basically rob number one.
And the only way the corner is going to come off of one is if he's running like a hitch or something like that,
Yes, sir. Some type of hitch or an underride. Like if he runs shallow,
or a slant even.
yeah. hmm he'll give him to basically to the star.
And then he's sinking with eyes coming to
Yes.
number two.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is this more akin to like old fashioned pattern read,
It
or is
it it
it?
it kind of almost is. It's basically kind of Saban's answer to combat this specifically mod is to combat um, the smash route. Basically, that's what he uses to combat the smash. Now he's got other checks, right? Which is if you got a slot that's a big threat, you can run seven switch or seven bracket. Now here's the difference with those two coverages. Switch puts the star with inside leverage. So if you're expecting some type of quick game route on the inside, switch is going to help the star take away that inside short route, right? And the safety still got him vertical over the top because they're bracketing him. Now, if you run bracket, the star is going to use outside leverage. So if you're expecting some type of an out route, you can put him out there to take away the out route, and then the safety still has two vertical. So you still got that bracket on number two. If he goes vertical and number one goes vertical, then they're going to bracket that number two receiver. The Mike will relate, or the Mac, Mike, whatever you want to call him, will relate to three. You got everybody covered in the zone.
So when you were running this, which one was your more common call?
We had default calls for every type of flank basically. So mod was our default coverage for two receivers removed. Cut should be the default coverage for a tight end attached. And then most teams either choose stump or stubby for their 3x1 on the strong side. And then on the back side, most people use either Meg or cone, depending on some. Now Saban does it depending on the width of the number one receiver. If he's really wide, then he'll just put that corner on an island. He's got the talent to do that stuff. What we did was we based it more on the talent level of our guy versus their guy. If we felt our corner could handle that guy one on one, we'd use the weak side safety to poach the strong side. If not, if he needed help, then we'd leave him there. It just kind of depends on what kind of threat you're. And you can game plan this too, by the way. Like you don't have to do the same thing every week.
Right. How would you handle the backside of this one with the tight end attached?
It would be cut by default. The coverage would be cut. So basically, the way that you send the call in is it's seven mod, right? If they come out in doubles, right, you're gonna run mod on both sides. If they come out like this, you're gonna call mod left, cut right. If they come out in trips, you're gonna call either stump or stubby, whatever you have as your default coverage with meg or cone on the backside as your default.
All right, so just to keep it simple, all right, so cut. What does cut do? What is that doing on the backside?
So cut, I can find that one as well if you want to look at it. So
Yeah.
cut technique basically tells the defender that he's got the receiver up, so vertical, or in, but not out. And you're basically playing a modified type of cover two on that backside. So the corner, like if that tight end runs an out, the corners can jump it, or actually he can kind of slow play that number one right? Give the safety a little bit of time to get over, and then the safety is going to play half over one, which means he's got that deep half, but he's going to do it over the number one receiver since we know that that corner is going to settle, right? And the backside backer, who most people will either call the money or the will or something, he's going to have that tight end up or in, but release him and let the corner match him if he's out.
Okay. All right, and then your stumpy call to the 3x1.
So let's talk about Stump. For Stump is basically mod to a three-man side. It's got that same smash rule built in. Um, so if you got a 3x1 on the strong side, you know, he'll basically the number one receiver will be played mod by the corner,
Can you
and
can you
you're gonna
find
play
that diagram?
absolutely, and then you're gonna play. Let me see if I can find. Let's see if let's go to 13. See if it's there. That's not it. Let's see. That's bracket. I need to go a little bit further. Hold on. I guess I should let me pull out this book and I can find out exactly where it's at. Hold on one second. I don't have the page
For
numbers
guys
memorized.
trying to write a book, this is what it looks like. That's,
Exactly.
that's exactly how mine looks.
I mean, that's the
And
thing
it's
is
near impossible to find anything you need when you
that's
need it.
I mean, that's the thing. And I'll tell you this, coach, I'm be 100% on. I must have started over 4 or 5 times because organizing the material and the way you want to present it is probably the most difficult part of it. The stuff that you want in it is the easy part, especially if you coach for a little while, right? But it's the organization of how you want to present it. So here's
Mine
Stump.
was the diagrams. The diagrams were murder on me.
That's a little bit hard too, to be honest with you. Fortunately, I know how to use Illustrator a little bit, so just enough to get me in trouble. So that's kind of good thing. But here's Stump with the Stump rules, right? So the corner plays mod, right? And then basically the star and the strong safety are going to play two read on the number three receiver, right? On number three and number two. And then the good thing for the Mike or the Mac, whatever you want to call him, is he's got this. Now, I use the term post, right? Instead of like a lot of people will use the term wall. I actually differentiate that because for me, post means that he's going to wall him to the top of his zone and not carry vertical. For me, wall means he's going to wall him all the way up the field. And we kind of did that so that our kids would know the difference because if you keep, wall him, right, he's going to think he needs to run up the field every single time. And so we chose that to kind of differentiate it a little bit. A lot of people just use the term wall, and that's okay.
Where was the top of his zone? How deep?
But 10 to 15 yards possibly.
Okay.
So like
So you're gonna
in
let him go
other words,
after 15.
that's it. I mean, and you can, I mean, you can change it. I mean, that's what guys do all the time, right? Um, it's now the difference with that I'm not sure um how many people are aware of I'm looking for another page right now while I'm talking, but a lot of people are much more aware of like Patterson stuff and his special coverage. That's basically stubby, right? So stubby locks number the corner on number one. So he's got actually man, and here's the difference basically between, you know, uh, Stump and Stubby. We X out basically number one by running Stubby, and let me find that drawing right now for you too. So that's should be on page 36 if I can. Of course, they're not in order right here, right? Um, but you basically lock number one man, right? A lot of people use the term Meg, meaning man everywhere he goes. So the corner's got him no matter what. There's no smash call built in. And then the star and the strong safety are still playing two read on number three and number two, right? And the Mike still posts. So the only difference between Stump and Stubby is the corner's responsibility. In Stubby, he's got man, and in Stump, he's got that smash call built in, so he can kind of play off of that that corner route if they run smash.
Now, how much smash were you seeing in Texas?
We see actually quite a bit there. I mean, there's a lot of I'll tell you a quick story, coach. I and I can't remember if it was 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. We actually ran tempo that year on offense, and we played another team that ran tempo that we had 223 plays in that football game. It was unbelievable. It was
Sounds
like
like a
track
dream
meet.
come true.
It was unbelievable. It was probably that was probably the most exciting game I've ever been a part of. I mean, it was unbelievable. Um, and I can't remember if that year I was coaching on the offense or the defense, but it was pretty unreal. It was fun, a lot of fun, especially when you win.
Yeah. Only when you win.
Absolutely,
You're just tired if you lose.
absolutely.
And then
What
you just lock up on this backside receiver and 3 by 1.
So if you notice, I got the rules right here, right? So in the book, we kind of talk about this more. I don't want to give away too many of the secrets, but you got Meg where the corner can man a cone where you can bracket that single receiver. They also run a couple things on the backside. Dog is basically an aggressive two-man, right? So you got the corner playing trail underneath, and it's very similar to cone, but on the line of scrimmage, the corner can be a lot more aggressive because he knows he's got some help over the top, and no matter what, he's going to get help. And then that tough is kind of I wouldn't recommend it using it very often because if they figure you out, you're going to get hurt. You basically rotate the safety down at the snap to take away the slant, and the corner it's going to like an invert two basically, and the corner is going to drop and cover that deep half instead.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know that they use that very much. We did not run that. It was in the arsenal. The coaches knew it, and that's the one thing that I will tell. And that's why I included a lot of the stuff that I included in this book is, I've heard a lot of people say there's no way that you can run all this stuff at the high school level. Well, um, I don't know that you're going to need all of it, but I am a firm believer that coaches should have it in their toolbox and introduce it as needed. If you start getting hurt on something by a particular team every year, then I don't really think it's too difficult to install a new coverage for a week. And it's not completely unlike anything that you've already been doing.
How many run team, like you went to a couple state championships or a bunch of state championships? How many pure pass teams did you see?
There's actually quite a bit, to be honest with you. I mean, that's the thing, man. The talent level has changed, and athletes nowadays are just so much more gifted, I think, is that I think it's a lot easier to throw the ball um, than when, maybe 20 years ago or something. Um, it's also kind of different too because in order to maintain and that's why I like the air raid so much on offense. In order to keep kids, you know, involved, you distribute the ball the way that you do, and everybody wants to come back because everybody's touching the ball, right? Gone are the days where I mean, it might work when you're nine, you give the running back the football and he beats everybody to the outside and scores. But by the time you get to high school, pretty much everybody's caught up to that kid. So you got to come up with some other ways to score some points. And here with this coverage, you got to figure out some ways to defend those quick kids too.
Well, that's awesome, awesome cover. I was always a big cover four guy, and we did it a couple different. When I was in the college, we pattern read everything,
Okay.
and then we played a level 7 uh, in high school that I really liked because I liked it because of the way the safeties fit into the run game.
Right.
What attracted you to cover 7?
I think the fact that it's so complex and does so many things, but you don't have to teach a whole bunch of different rules. You're doing your kids are doing the same thing in different coverages, just the leverage changes and the matchups change. Like for the most part, it's pretty easy for the inside backers because if you're on the strong side, you match three. If you're on the weak side, you basically do what the star does, right? Or a lot of times you're looking at number four, the first crosser, right? But you don't really have to do anything different in a bunch of these things. The corners got mod or meg on most of the stuff, right? There's a couple of exceptions to that rule, but not many. It's very similar stuff, with a lot of different options. And I like, I mean, I love studying football. I mean, I like learning. Um, I don't think I'll ever know every. I mean, I've probably forgotten a bunch of stuff, probably more than I know right now. I've forgotten a ton of stuff over the years. And I mean, when I started coaching, the school I was coaching, we ran the wing T, I fortunately I got when I got out here to Texas, that was back in California, and I mean, so we used to play schools like Mater Dei and St. John Bosco and Bishop Amat and Servite. Those games were brutal. It's some of the best talent in Southern California. And getting out here to Texas. Now, I will tell you that you know, I had no idea because I actually own my own business as well. So I was not a teacher. Um, I had no idea when I moved out to Texas that you had to be on the staff in order to, it's actually a law. You have to be employed by the district in order to be a football coach, in a public school. So my only option out here was private schools, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Well, let's talk about the book.
Sure, absolutely.
Give us a picture of it, and let's tell us where to find it, how to get it, how much it costs.
Sure. It's on Amazon right now. Normal price is 19.99. It's actually on sale, and I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how they did that, but they did it. They put it on sale, um, which was a good thing. I don't know that I don't know that I have the cover and all this mess because you have to upload it kind of separately. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find the table of contents, and I think I see it. There's one page. Let's see if this is the first one right here. Kind of give you an idea. So here's kind of the way I approach this thing. Um, you get it on Amazon. If you search cover seven concepts, it comes up like you'll see it right away.
And I'll put the link to it, so
Okay,
it'll be easy to get to.
awesome.
But I did see it. I did see it was on sale today.
Yeah, there's a big seven on the cover, and if I can find it while I'm talking, I'm gonna look for that, and I'll load it here as well. But it's on sale for 18.99 right now instead of 19.99. I think I got a hardcover up there as well. If anybody wants a hardcover, I decided to put that up there as well. Paperback's fine. And then on Kindle I think they put it for a while. If you got that Kindle Unlimited, I think you can download it for free and borrow it for a while. Or I think you can buy it for like 9.99 if you decide to do that. And I think that might be on sale as well. But I wanted to kind of offer um, some stuff and kind of what you run you can't now. There's a ton of different combinations, and I didn't want to have to cover every single one of them. So I basically talked, and that's why you'll see some of these coverages on both the strong and weak side. You see mod up there, you see clamp up there, and you see switch up there. Um, I just wanted to make sure that I was solid in the approach and kind of show the difference between when you have, three guys covering or four, right, on the strong side, right? So I wanted to kind of differentiate that just so everybody has the rules. There's, a bunch of rules in there, some coaching points, a lot of examples I wanted to draw. And you're exactly right. The diagrams take a long time. So I did some of that stuff, put it up there. It's been a fun thing to do, and I really kind of enjoyed it. Um, I actually reached out to some fellow coaches in some different groups that I was in just to kind of fill in the blanks. And for some of those guys, I appreciate the input. I wanted to verify that my information was as accurate as possible. Um, and just to get some clarification and make sure that some of the stuff that I was putting in there, um, is you know fact and not just something that I was kind of pulling out of the air or something. So that was kind of important to me.
Well, it seems like you got a great system, and I like the terminology and the different ways to attack. Obviously, if you're a big game plan guy and a big scout guy, there's an answer to almost everything there. Uh, how long did it take you to get it all written out and done?
Which here's the cover. I finally found it.
Yeah, good.
Um, it It took me definitely over a year. And I think most of that um was the planning. Like I probably changed formats 5 times just because I didn't feel like I wanted to make sure that it was clear cut, easy to understand. Um, I had it horizontal, I had it vertical, I had tables, and I just kind of decided, you know what, I'm just going to kind of go a little bit more in paragraph form just because it didn't limit me. You throw a table in there and it kind of limits to the information you can type in there. The text gets really small. So I just kind of decided at the end, you know what, let's let it flow. Um, I actually uploaded it to Amazon and proofread it one last time. And I had told my wife I was going to wait one more day, but when I finally got it done, I was so stinking excited that I just said, you know what, let's run with this. And we got it up there and running, and it's kind of out there now for everybody to see.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, brother, I sure do appreciate you coming on here and doing this.
Coach, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
And I'm a quarters guy at heart, so I definitely gonna get me a copy.
I know you are. I've seen it. I've seen it out there.
All right, brother. Thank you very
All right, Coach.
much.
All right, thanks.